He can love you like I love you. Baby, you know it too. So you should never want to be with a man if he can't be the man and do the things to you like I can. Hey, he can love you like I love you. Baby, you know it's true. And you should never want to be with a man if he can't be the man and do the things to you like I can. What's up, y'all? This is Ty. That's what the dancers was dancing to tonight in this episode. I am here to review, which is season 3, episode 7 of All the Queen's Men. That was the main song they did on the main stage, and Big D got to be on it. So I'm imitating them because they was doing these. I said, this is what the ladies like. Y'all should have done. Y'all. Man, I need to get to a strip joint. That's all I gotta do. He can't love you like I love you. I'm here to review All the Queen's Men, season 3, episode 7. I'm just bugging out, y'all. The episode is titled Weakness. But before I get into that, let me give a shout out to my lovely subscribers who are watching this show with me, holding me down in the comment section. Karima Khadija, Mark Johnson, Bobby Ray, Courtney Brackens, Savannah, Lamont Simpson, June BLC, and all the rest of you wonderful, wonderful people that's holding me down. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave comments because we like engaging around here. And we keeping the channel doing what? Going and growing. So we got that out the way. I briefly mentioned, tonight we'll speak on that a little bit later. Big D got the spotlight. He was all in the middle doing all this. I said, that's all it takes. Listen, I could do that. I'm about to get me a part-time job at some club. Ladies, it's Ty. Hey, that's what y'all like? That's what y'all like, ladies? He can't love you. I better stick to my day job, right? So anyway, let's talk about Big D and Amp. And you know what, Courtney, you were correct. I think it was Courtney who told me last week, because I said, first of all, how in the world did Amp know to go to Big D's hotel? What's going on? What made him go there? I thought he was drunk or whatever. But it turns out Courtney was correct. Courtney said in the comments last week that Amp has a tracker. He's probably tracking Dime, and that's what he was doing. He was tracking Dime. So it picked off where we left off last week. You have Amp asking Big D, who went out to the car, I guess, to get a condom. I don't know, get a condom and then go speak to Casanova, who was still wrapped in garbage bags. And he said, who was you talking to? So Big D was like, I was talking to myself. Why are you worried about that? And he said, well, what you coming over here for anyway? He said, I know Dime better not be in there. And so she's getting dressed and she comes out right on time. And he's like, what the F you doing here? This, that. So now Amp and Big D get into a fight. They get to tussling. Dime jumps on Amp's back and then she falls and then she gets upset. And then she's like, I got to go get the jack. And now she decides to go to the trunk of Big D's car and opens it, and she sees Casanova. And she's like, you creep. And then she runs off and then she drives off in Amp's car. But my question was, did Amp see the dead body as well? We don't know. We really didn't see. So now she's pissed off. And then we see, she told him, you're sick, you need help, this, that, and the third. And then we see Big D having a conversation with, later on, having a conversation with Casanova saying, did she see, were you playing dead? Were your eyes open when she came in? He said, no, I was playing dead. She didn't see, she think I'm dead. But now this makes things a little complicated because didn't Tommy say that he was keeping track of Big D's car and that he knows it went to the swamp? So I'm saying, what's going to happen if now they find like, okay, so now he came back and Dime is seeing the body? Like, once Tommy finds it out, he'll probably be a little bit suspicious because it's not adding up right. It's like, wait a minute. I have a tracker on here. I tracked that you went to the swamp already and then you went to your hotel. Why are you going back to the swamp, right? Because Tommy has that tracker unless he's not paying attention anymore. So anyway, Big D is telling Casanova, listen, I got to take you to the safe house, this, that, and the third. And Casanova's like, there's only one person I can see, and that's the detective. I got to see her. Now, here's the thing. If he doesn't show up, something else may transpire. So it was crazy. It was interesting right there. So that was that. And he said, Big D said he's taking him to the safe house. Meanwhile, while that's happening, y'all remember in last week's episode, Tommy had asked Madam, did she want her coochie licked? And she said, yeah. He said, do you want some loving? I'm sorry, do you want some loving? And she said, maybe in the morning you could go downtown. So that's what he's doing. We see the scene with them, and that's what he's doing to her. And she's like, oh, don't stop. Oh, damn. Oh, good. This show is crazy. This show is really crazy. And while that's happening, she keeps getting a phone call from Doc. And she's like, what does he want? And she finally takes the call, and he tells her, he says, listen, you won't believe it. That detective is over here. She drunk. She had sex with me. I put it down on her. I'm about to kick her out now. She said, no, don't kick her out. Wait for me. I'm coming over there. So first she got to shower and get cleaned up. But I see that this Tommy really loves him some Madam, because he's down there just going to town on her. And she's like, stop, I gotta go. He's like, then he mentions about Joey, I'll get rid of him, this, that, and the third. He really don't like that guy is there, whatever. But she's like, listen, I gotta go, calm down. And so she's like, I'm on my way. She knows she's going to be on her way to Doc's house to confront the detective. Meanwhile, we get over there. The detective wakes up. He must have put it down so good on her, or she was so doggone drunk that she don't realize she ain't in her house. She wake up like, what are you doing here? And he's like, no, we're in my house. And then he mentions to her, she said, did we have sex? He said, yeah. Did we use a condom? He said, 7 condoms. And they right there. And the first thing I said was, ill. You left the condoms in the floor or on the... Clean up. What the hell is that? What kind of foolishness is that? Clean up, dude. That's disgusting. What kind of foolishness is that? So anyway, with that being said, then Madam gets over there, and Madam confronts the detective and is like, yeah, look at you, now the woman, the detective then came out the shower and she got the same clothes on that she had the night before, and she's trying to play it off. Madam said, you're in a compromising position. You sleeping with one of my dancers, and now you wouldn't that interfere with your investigation? She said, I don't know what you're talking about. I just got here. I didn't have no sex with him. Madam was like, you think I'm stupid? And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. She's still denying it. Mind you, the condoms is all over the floor. I mean, come on. But the crazy thing about that was she was like, you'll be back because you want some more DICK. That's what she told her. And then she says to Doc, what do you have on her? He said, nothing. She scrambled my phone. She took the cameras down. I ain't got nothing on her, man. I ain't got nothing. So she was like, you don't have nothing? Damn. But she said, you know what? Don't worry, because she's definitely going to be back. She's definitely going to be back. So, and she's like, you put it down on her good enough, she'll definitely come back. Meanwhile, then they have the detective go to her place of work, all disheveled, and her boss, or whoever this woman is telling her, listen, homeboy over here is running for mayor. We got to get that club shut down. You need to speed up this investigation. Club Eden got to go. Speed up this investigation. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. She said, but there's so many more things we got to do. She said, listen, you need to get it done. Then when the detective walks away, her and this creepy guy who's apparently running for mayor, who clearly he got a thing for men. He looking at another cop like, who's that officer? So he got a little taste for men. And she says, you calm down. We're trying to make you mayor. You can't mess with him or whatever. And I've learned he's the husband of Miss Tandy. So I learned that. So basically, they're talking about the detective, and she's saying, oh, she's an idiot, this, that, and the third. But homegirl comes back in the room, the detective, and she clearly had a recording in there, and she heard the recording. So now she's feeling some kind of way, because she's like, that's how you feel about me? Okay, all right. That's how you feel about me? So basically, she's upset. So now she's deciding that she's going to go over to see Madam. And that's what she does later in the episode. She goes over to see Madam, and she tells Madam, I need to speak to you in private. Blue was like, I don't want to be bothered with all that. She said, I'm going to speak to you, Madam. And she tells Madam, let's make a deal. Listen, they ain't been paying me right. I can give you some information. She even mentions that Casanova is undercover and that have you seen him? I can make sure he don't talk. Now she's ready to switch sides. And of course, Madam ain't really trusting her. And I'm like, rightfully so. But this lady's desperate now because she's like, listen, they pissed her off. Her boss is pissed off. But is she? Or is she playing a game? Only time will tell. But before we get further into that, let's go and talk about Rayshawn being confronted by Miss Tandy, who we learn, which I learned because I haven't seen that. I'm going to go back, though. It's like I said, I'm going to go back to the other seasons. Miss Tandy and her husband took him down there and wore him out with her. This show is crazy. They, sodomized him and did all these things. She has the nerve to come in and want to speak to him. She says, I have a proposition for you. We want you to come over again. I'll give you $25,000. He's like, $25,000? She said, okay, $30,000. But you have to sign basically an NDA saying nothing happened. My husband's running for mayor. We don't need that kind of press. And Champ comes in, and Champ's like, no. He needs $125,000. $100,000 for me and $100,000 for him and $25,000 for me. First of all, how you trying to bribe somebody and cover up with just $30,000? That ain't enough for what y'all did to this man. $100,000 ain't enough to show that. You need more than that. So I was with Chip, but Champ said $125,000. But Rayshawn is like, I want revenge. I want these people dead. I don't want to be bothered with them. Champ says, listen, trust me. Let's get this money. All right? We're going to get this money, and then we'll deal with that. That's basically what he said about that. We'll get this money, and then we will deal with that. Then, let's go to Fuego now. I believe that's the name. Fuego is back. He says he's here to stay. He's ready to dance. The crew is looking at him like, he really coming back? Can we trust? We just got to play this thing by ear. Meanwhile, Dime is pissed off and disgusted with Big D. And she tells him, matter of fact, you go wait outside. You get out of here. We don't need you in here. I don't trust you. He's trying to speak that. She's like, give me your music and you go. Let's go. Give me a flash drive and you go. I don't want to be bothered with you. While she's trying to kick him out of Club Eden so she could go tell Madam what happened, Blue says, no, Madam wants him here in the main stage. He gets to dance with the other guys. They're the main guys, I guess, on the main stage and do that move they were doing like that. Because that's what they would do. He came love. They was doing that. That cracked me up. And so she's like, oh, really? And then so when the crew finds out that Big D is going to be dancing with them, they get upset. They get Face especially. Babyface is acting real funny. And Fuego's like, I'll train him, whatever. He's like, you such a sellout, whatever. And then Doc says, you seeming like you're a little bit jealous or insecure. If your stuff is together, why are you worried about this guy dancing? Because he's like, why he got to dance with us? He better not mess up the dance and all this stuff. I said, wow, Caddy, damn. So as he's saying that, Face says to him, you need to be worried about burying your child. And then all hell breaks loose. And they get into a fight. I said, okay, there goes some drama right there. And that was that. And meanwhile, while they're doing this main dance, I guess he learned the moves. Trouble is pissed off when she sees that. Because she's like, here we see a lot of jealousy going on. She sees that. She's like, what the hell is this? I was here before him. And now he's on the main stage with them doing the little stiff dance move. I'm pissed off about that. So that was interesting. But we see Trouble now wanting to be nice to and hold a conversation with Champ and Rayshawn. And they tell her about their plan to get this money off of Miss Tandy and them. And now she wants in. They tell her how much. And then she's going to do it for 2 G's. They said, look, just what you're going to get. You're going to get the 2 G's. And I'm like, interesting. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that plan. Now let's move on to Let's move on to Amp, right? Amp and Dime and this whole drama. Dime does go into the office to tell on Big D. She's telling Madam about Big D. And she's like, yeah, he had a body. And she tell him it was Casanova's. And Madam was like, yeah, I know. She knew already. She said, listen, I'm glad he did that. Look, it is what it is. And she's like, okay, but what's really going on with you? And what's going on with you and Amp? And she says, well, Amp flattened my tires. She said, what? Bring him in here. So she tells Dime to tell Amp to come in. She goes out there to get Amp. Amp is totally ignoring her. Then he goes, what the F you want? She brings him in there. He says how he's feeling, like, I can't trust you. You did me wrong. You told my aunt that I did something that I didn't do instead of coming to me directly. And you accusing me of slashing your tires. So they going back and forth. Clearly she cares about him. Clearly he cares about her, but he's hurt by how she betrayed him. And I understand that. And she likes him, whatever. Then Dime leaves and Madam and Amp have a conversation, and she got so much control over this. Sit your ass down and don't you raise your voice to me and all this stuff. She told him, you acting up, you doing drugs, you acting stupid, you want to go back to jail. He's like, whatever. Then she told him, listen, that girl cares about you, this, that, and the third. He said, listen, look at what she did to me. She said, look, you can't be having no pity party and being sorry for yourself. Get your stuff together, clean up your act, get off the drugs, stop all this drinking. And she said something to him like, stop hurting yourself to hurt her. That's what she said to him. And she did apologize. She said, I don't do apologies, but I was wrong for what I did. And, basically that's her way of apologizing. She said, I don't apologize, but I was wrong. I was definitely wrong, but get your stuff together. Then she told him, stop hurting yourself to hurt her. And he said, well, who are you trying to hurt? Because you hurt yourself. And she was like, get your ass up out of here. Get out of here. But you could tell it sparked something in her because she was pissed off about that. She didn't like that. It sparked something in her. She did not like that. And so she was like, get on up out of here. But he struck a nerve. And so we get to the end of the episode, which was the end of the episode. I kind of mentioned it already, which was Detective Davis coming over and speaking, trying to make a deal with Madam, and Madam telling her, whatever, you can get out of my face, whatever. She said she told Blue, watch her. Let's keep an eye on her. Then the phone rings, and it's Fernando. So Fernando is taunting Madam, and he mentions her daddy and says that the detail at the home where her father is staying is not good security detail. And he's like, basically tell her, I'm about to kill your daddy. And this is the first time I've seen Madam be vulnerable and actually appear to be scared. And she's like, no, don't, Fernando. And that's where the episode ended. So now we got to see if Fernando did anything to her father or not. He probably didn't. He's probably just pulling her chain like that. But he said, you messed up when you killed my sister-in-law, so now we got to do something to you. And she's like, take me, bring me. And he said, I want you and I want Blue. She said, I'll bring her as well. She seemed really desperate. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. But that is where the episode ended. Tell me your thoughts on this episode. It was interesting for me. I'm curious to see what the plan is going to be, how Rayshawn and Champ and them are going to handle Miss Tandy and this creepy guy that's running for mayor. I'm curious as to how that's going to turn out. Also curious as to what's going to become of Casanova. Will they find out that he's still alive? Has this Detective Davis really turned? It's interesting. We'll see what's going on with that. And that's pretty much it. That's all I have for now. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video.